Hi everyone, it's about to get wild and windy with two ex-tropical cyclones on a collision course. Get set to get wet and tie it down if it's loose in the backyard. Right now, it's 6 o'clock.
This is One News with Simon Dallow and Wendy Petrie.
Tonight, more flood fears as Queensland's biggest city tries to return to normal. Frantic moves are underway to keep floodwaters at bay in parts of Victoria.
Paying more. We'll explain how the devastation in Australia could affect your shopping bill.
Stabilising the Pike River mine, a deadline for the receivers. We're live for the latest.
And it's razzle-dazzle on the red carpet. We'll have the winners and the losers at the Golden Globe Awards.
Kia ora, good evening. The flooding across the Tasman is set to be the costliest natural disaster in Australian history.
And the devastation is spreading. The death toll now stands at 18 and 14 people are still missing. More than 20,000 homes in Brisbane remain without power, and officials say 28,000 Queensland homes will need to be rebuilt. Flooding's also hitting the state of Victoria. The town of Horsham, 300 kilometres from Melbourne, is braced for a 1 in 200-year flood. And we'll cross live to correspondent Nick Parkins there shortly. First, let's go to our Australia correspondent Steve Marshall in Brisbane. Steve.
Thanks. Well, today I visited the Brisbane CBD behind me and also visited its outer suburbs. And what I saw today was a remarkable turnaround for a city that only a few days ago was brought to its knees by this brown river here behind me. Today it was the turn of business to roll up its sleeves in a bid to try and help reboot the Brisbane economy. 8 a.m. Monday morning, a New Zealander Tony Rowe's windscreen repair workshop is open for business, but only just.
I have no idea how hard it is. It's just with the bank's money now, keeping the staff here, keeping us here alive at the moment.
The Brisbane River didn't spare his shop. Can you fix that?
No, it's rubbish now.
The computers have had it, and there's still no power in the street. But right now, the Ashburton expat has few options.
The rents, the mortgages, the power, the wages, the phone bills still keep coming.
It's the same for the big end of town, as the Brisbane CBD clicked into first gear today. Public transport is free this week as city basement car parks continue to pump out floodwater. It's going to mean a variation on the old 9 to 5.
If employers could again use their initiative and common sense and say that there was a staggered start time over a 2.5 period in the morning over the next week, and similarly in terms of people going home in the afternoon, that'll make a great difference.
The buses might be running, but Brisbane's river ferries are nowhere to be seen. The Rivercat service usually ferries thousands of commuters to and from the CBD each day, but the terminals where they stop and collect people have been smashed apart and ripped from their moorings. Officials say it could be months before the service returns to normal. And the repair bill could top $100 million. The roadmap for reconstruction will include measures to withstand a once-in-a-100-year flood.
Flood mitigation and protection measures have to be part of that. So in addition to simply rebuilding roads or bridges, we need to think about, in some cases, building them higher or in different places.
And that's some comfort for Brisbane business owners like Tony Rowe.
The phone is ringing, which is a good sign for business.
A sign that just might help this flood-affected New Zealander keep his head above water.
So, Steve, it's going to cost a lot of money to recover from this disaster. What's the latest move from the government?
Well, as the clean-up here continues, Prime Minister Julia Gillard has personally written to Australia's top business leaders imploring them to donate to the flood relief appeal. Right now, that fund stands at around 100 million New Zealand dollars. And in the last few moments, we've had unconfirmed reports that 2 more bodies have been found in Brisbane, taking the unofficial death toll to 20.
Thanks, Steve. Steve Marshall in Brisbane. Now it's Victoria's turn to try to stem the flow of raging floodwaters. Up to a third of the state's been affected, mainly in the north and west. Near Shepparton, a desperate search is underway for a 7-year-old boy who fell into a river.
Elsewhere in Victoria, attention is focused on the town of Horsham, facing its worst flooding in 200 years. Mark Kreisel reports. Good luck to him. That is One News this Monday.
Now over to Mark with close-up from the One News team, though.
Good night.